Now, presented by Sprite, the 2K pregame show.
Hey everybody, welcome to 2K Sports. I'm your host, Ernie Johnson, joined by the Diesel, Shaquille O'Neal. And tonight our broadcast will be shifting to Minneapolis, where we'll see the Timberwolves going up against the Chicago Bulls. For Chicago, a win tonight would bring them to 3-0 on the young season. What a start that would be for them. They've looked awfully good in those first two wins. Shaq, what can you say about Joakim Noah, Defensive Player of the Year, fourth in MVP balloting?
Tremendous. And welcome everyone to another presentation of the NBA on 2K Sports. Along with Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg, this is Kevin Harlan. Well, it was the Chicago Bulls winning their last game against the Cleveland Cavaliers. It was just a textbook performance. That game was all theirs. Once they got it going, it was full speed ahead.
Yeah, that was a strange game. Very shaky defensive performance by their opponent, but hey, they took advantage of it.
Yeah, I'd go along with that. I mean, the game wasn't handed to them, but they definitely didn't have to work as hard as they should have.
Let's check out Chicago's starting lineup. D. Rose and Jimmy Butler at the back. Inside at the 4 and 5 are Gasol and Noah. And it's Dunleavy in at the small forward position. And out of bounds as the Timberwolves gain possession.
Well, a tough shooting slump for Jimmy Butler last season. Some injuries took him out of rhythm. He was asked to play a bigger role offensively after Luol Deng was traded. Still, he's become one of the premier defensive players in the league.
Now here is Martin. He kicks to Pekovic, feeds to Wiggins. Rose against Rubio. Here's Young. No good. So the Bulls will take it the other way.
Boy, after the first three misses, I thought they'd get one here, but they still can't connect.
Rose, good.
You always like to get that first lead of the game.
Yeah, you know, Steve, a good way to set the tone early on there.
Rubio outside. Into Pekovic. Poke loose. Out of bounds, Timberwolves ball as Minnesota keeps possession.
You know, one thing you have to admire, respect, and appreciate with this Bulls team is they've had some really difficult luck with the injuries to Derrick Rose, but it was a no-excuse team. They never hung their heads. They competed, and they continue to win at a high level.
Chicago making a switch here. Mirotic is checked in. Just two to shoot. Martin from outside. And yes, sir, that one drops. Martin's got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for three. Chicago with the ball. And the Bulls so resilient. A lot of credit has to go to Coach Tom Thibodeau. He gets them to play with tremendous effort every game.
Well, in the front office, too, Kevin. I mean, you think about the late first-round picks that they've turned into Taj Gibson and Jimmy Butler. Very productive two-way players that have held their own when Rose was out.
Here is Rubio following the score by Derrick Rose. And that one's good. Wiggins.
You know, that's a case there, Kevin, of him making a pass to a spot, and then he let his teammate run right into it. Well executed.
Rose goes in. He lobs up the alley-oop pass. Young with the steal. And now Minnesota on the fast break. And Wiggins gets it to go on the assist by Rubio.
I'd say that fast break went according to plan.
Yeah, it sure did. A good job getting it started and a better job finishing it off.
Now here's Rose. He's coming off a 22-point game against Cleveland. Rubio dishes to Young. Wiggins passes to Rubio. And a little over 2.5 minutes gone here in the first. Martin for three, and another three for Minnesota.
Excellent ball movement there, guys.
Yeah, I think that's what's keyed this run, Clark, because they're keeping the ball moving. The defense hasn't been able to set up.
Here's Rose. Gasol setting the pick for Rose. And they get it, and he sinks the layup. Rose has got his third basket of the night right there.
Looks like he might be on his game today, Clark.
From half court, and it's blocked by Rose. And the horn signals the end of the first. Not much offense so far. Timberwolves lead by 4. And the second quarter will be on the way when we come back. As the players get ready to go, having a nice break to get hydrated with Gatorade. And Steve and Clark and I are refreshed and ready to go here as well. Let's take a moment here to get your guys' take on scoring so far for the Timberwolves.
You know what, guys? It looks to me like they're really in sync here, all on the same page. They've already got a bunch of assists.
Well, the other thing I like is defensively, they're causing turnovers, and that's allowing them to get into transition.
And a moment now to reset the lineups, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up for the second quarter of basketball. So for Chicago right now, Doug McDermott is out there with Taj Gibson. Then there's Heinrich. Then there's Tony Snell. And it's Dunleavy in at the 3 slot. And Doris Burke has a report for us from the sideline.
Gentlemen, as you know, Andrew Wiggins was taken as the first overall pick of a talented 2014 class, but should have no problem with the pressure. He's been hyped as the next big thing for quite some time. He said, I think playing at Kansas really prepares you for this. You're basically treated like a rock star wherever you go. I think that really translates to the NBA. Gentlemen?
Unlimited potential, Doris. Thank you very much. Mike Dunleavy, the former number 3 overall pick out of Duke, Steve, back in 2002.
Yeah, he played on that Duke team back in 2001 that won the NCAA championship. Played alongside Williams and Boozer. You know, never really became a star, but a quality player over his 12-year NBA career.
A 3-pointer off the mark. Minnesota in the lead. Williams with the ball. He's picked up by Heinrich. The open shot by Brewer. Good. The nice assist for Williams.
And they've set up countless buckets off assists. That's a huge part of what they've been doing here today.
A lot of dime dropping going on out there, Steve.
Here's Heinrich. That's good. The Timberwolves have gone 2 of 4 shooting the ball here in the second. Here's Barea, and Gibson sends it back. And we're about 2 minutes into the second quarter. Out of bounds, Minnesota takes possession. You know, these are the guys you need to be aware of. If you don't want your pocket picked, here are last season's steals leaders. Second, Ricky Rubio. Thaddeus Young, third.
You know, it's really hard to measure just how much impact these two had on their teams. I mean, either one of these guys would have been a good choice for an all-defensive squad.
1:06 left to play here in the second quarter. Floats one up, and that one's good. Correa's got his first points in this one. Bulls trail by 3. 3-pointer, Heinrich, and he gets it to go.
And that's one of his strengths, knocking down those long-range jumpers.
For Minnesota, they've gone 50% from the floor in the second quarter, 3 of 6. Double team on Williams. Correa kicks to Zhang. And that's out of bounds. Minnesota will retain possession. Big group substitution now for Minnesota. Nikola Pekovic is checked in for Young. Wiggins comes in for Corey Brewer. Martin's checked in for J.J. Barea. And Levine subbed in for Mo Williams. So Chicago going with an almost entirely new group. Joakim Noah, he's checked in for Gibson. Saul comes in for Dunleavy. Jimmy Butler, he's checked in for Tony Snell. And it's Rose in for Kirk Heinrich. 3-pointer, Butler, and the Bulls, another 3.
That's far too good a look to give them from behind the arc.
Well, that's 3 of the last 5 makes, having been behind the 3-point line. So, got to make some adjustments defensively.
Here's Levine, defended by Gasol. Levine can't hit. Butler with the ball. And he lobs it up toward the rim. Oh, a nice defensive play to disrupt the alley-oop. Can't get it to go. And the first half ends in a close one. It's Chicago leading by 3. And now let's catch up with Doris Burke, who's standing by on the sideline. Doris?
Hey, Kevin, with Derrick Rose. Derrick, how does it feel to get back out there on the basketball floor here for the new season ahead?
It feels good, man, especially playing with my teammates. We have new teammates. We're just trying to come out here and just play hard and compete.
Great to have you back, Derrick. Kevin, back to you.
Thank you, Doris. We'll be back after halftime as the third quarter gets underway. It's been a back-and-forth game so far with no ground given through the first half. Third quarter starting here now. Kind of like what Derrick Rose has done in this game.
I like that he didn't force anything in that first half. His decision-making was really flawless.
That being the case, Steve, I think they want him to be more assertive in the second half. Look to take more shots. Be a little more shot hungry, even the tough ones.
Timberwolves trail by 3.
There were a lot of hopeful Minnesota fans thinking they had a chance at the playoffs last year early, but injuries and slumps derailed their season.
Rubio and Martin manning the backcourt. Wiggins is out there with Young, and it's Pekovic in at the 5. That's the group starting the second half for Flip Saunders. And there's a nice one-handed slam.
You know, the dunks are few and far between for the big guy, but every once in a while we get one just like that.
It's not hard to believe that kind of size might keep you from being a high flyer.
Yeah, that's a lot of man right there to try to get up off the ground, Kevin.
Well, it doesn't seem that long ago, but it's been a decade, Clark, a decade since the Wolves were in the playoff situation.
Time moves on, you know that, Kevin. It races by. Hard to believe they were a postseason lock for much of the late 90s and early 2000s.
There's a guy named Kevin Garnett that was there help that cause.
Yes, sir.
And that one falls for Ricky Rubio.
Well, for Ricky Rubio, it seems there's been a little disappointment in his development as a shooter, but still room for hope and optimism. The Timberwolves were much better with him on the floor. His overall impact on the game still undervalued, but clearly impactful.
Tony Snell's checked in for Mike Dunleavy. Shots good from Butler.
He can be a forgotten man in their offense sometimes, but you know the defense still needs to keep an eye on him.
Let's go to our sideline reporter, Doris Burke. Doris, what do you have?
Yes, Kevin, the Bulls, known for their hard-nosed style of play, something Coach Tom Thibodeau calls, quote, Chicago tough. Center Joakim Noah said, I don't think our style would work everywhere. It represents our city. Our whole thing is playing with more of an edge than the other team. He added, we aren't scared of anybody. Guys?
They don't back down. Thanks, Doris. Well, Steve, you talk about that stand for Rubio. The Timberwolves were almost 13 points per 100 possessions better with him on the floor.
Yeah, between his passing and his defense, he's a difference maker, Kevin. I know his shooting percentages haven't been great over the course of his career, but they're getting better. And Rubio, there's no doubting that he makes his team better when he's out there.
Here's Rubio following the score by Derrick Rose. And Rubio kicks to Martin. Rubio dishes to Young. Shot clock at 6. Rebound by the Bulls.
Rebounds are split just about down the middle in this game, Clark.
I'd venture to guess whichever team is able to maintain that energy level on the glass will have the upper hand the rest of the way.
Here's Pekovic. The shot will not go. Some solid defense from Butler. The Bulls leading by 4. Here's the lob to the hoop. And the layup's good off the glass. Noah's got his first basket.
You got to love the big bucket in the paint in this sort of grinded-out physical game.
Yeah, that was your game, Clark. Pound it inside and take the ball right to the defense.
That's what I tried to do, man. I knew my limitations.
Now, here's Rubio. Puts up a 3. And once again off the mark by Minnesota.
That's a shot you've got to take if you're looking for the three-pointer. I mean, the defense was nowhere around.
2-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Rose passes to Butler. Gasol, a screen on Young. Butler dishes to Rose. Right at the free throw line. Noah. Yes, and it's Rose with the assist that time. And now an 8-point Bulls lead. Here's Young, and it's good, but hold on. The officials may want to look at that one on the replay monitor. And not so fast. The officials are going to check that shot again and make sure they got it right before we go to the fourth.
Well, that clock was expiring just before he shot it, or so it would appear on the replay. In real time, I couldn't really tell whether he got it off in time.
And you know, as a player, it's so difficult to know exactly where the clock is. You have an idea of it, and you know you've got to get that shot off. But whether you actually got it off or not, it's tricky. I mean, I think even the player sometimes has a tough time figuring it out.
Well, the ruling is in, and the call stands. No basket, so no change, Clark, and the scoreboard as we end the quarter.
Smart decision to review the shot. That was indeed very close to being legitimate.
And we've reached the end of the third. Bulls lead by 8. And right after this, we'll bring you the start of the final quarter right here on 2K Sports. And let's take this opportunity now to show you our State Farm assist of the game.
Well, we might as well call it the State Farm play of the game. This was just a marvelous piece of coordination between two teammates, completely in sync on the alley-oop.
Look at Minnesota. They took the win in their last game against the Detroit Pistons. So for Chicago right now, inside, Gibson and Noah. D. Rose and Jimmy Butler, the back, and it's Snell in at the 3 spot. And guys, what do you think about the offensive approach we've seen so far for the Bulls?
You know, one of the big stories has been the 3 ball. It's been a key part of their offense throughout the game.
And then look at the points in the paint, because they're really winning that battle tonight. Well, you can count on him, can't you? He seems to knock down free throws consistently all game long.
And here's the fast break. Rose leading the way. And it's Butler with the jam.
You know, when he's in that tight with that kind of height advantage over the defender, that's going to be a pretty easy play for him.
Williams kicks to Levine. Pekovic with it. Noah picks him up. And Pekovic throws it down. And that's how you exploit a gap in the D, I guess.
Yes, sir. No soft finish there. Major power.
And he knows an opportunity for the highlight reel when he sees one.
Now here's Rose. And good. We got the English that time as it falls. Rose has got the lead up to 12 now for Chicago. The Timberwolves shooting the ball at 42%. Williams against Rose. Knocks it loose. Stolen by Noah. And he's going up for the alley-oop. And that's out of bounds. Chicago will retain possession.
A super defensive play. I mean, if that pass gets through, it's probably 2 points.
And he knew that. He knew if it gets through, it's a score. So that's why he sold out for it and got a hand on it.
Young's checked in for Minnesota. Time called here. The Bulls decide to talk it over. They're up by 12. 1:56 left in the fourth quarter of this one. So for the Bulls, Pau Gasol's checked in for Noah. And McDermott's subbed in for Tony Snell. Bounces high off the rim and drops. 16 points for Derrick Rose.
He shot the ball exceptionally well as they've built this lead for themselves here.
Williams against Rose. It's stolen by Rose. And that one is hammered home.
Wow, what an incredible run they're on. This is as good an offense as you will see.
Well, every single guy on the floor right now just feeling it.
Timberwolves trailed by 16. Levine kicks to Williams on the wing. Brewer. Nice ball movement by Minnesota. Pekovic with a screen on Butler. On the wing, Williams. 6 to shoot. Here's the teardrop. And it's Chicago with the rebound. Gasol's got 3 rebounds so far in the game.
Well, what we saw here tonight is one team just had everything going for it, and the other didn't. Huge margin of victory for Chicago.
Clark, their inside game was what secured them the win tonight.
Yeah, Kevin, they had their way in the paint, and those are all high percentage shots.
And every win important. And this one will go down as win number 3.
And in a 2-game season series, you love taking charge of game 1. That's obvious, and exactly what they're doing here tonight against the Timberwolves.
And you have to look back at this and see what a huge game it's been for Rose. He was extremely efficient offensively, getting looks, knocking down big shots all game long.
Here is Rose after the basket by Minnesota. The 11-footer, he squares up and sinks it. And the Bulls lead by 16.
Well, this is going to seal the deal. They've really exploded here to the finish line.
You know, once they sniffed out that blood in the water, the killer instinct came right out.
That'll go on McDermott. That is his first foul of the game. On defense, the Bulls, 16-point lead, the largest margin in the game.
All game long, guys, he's been getting it done, really doing a nice job rebounding.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, they've had a major advantage on the glass, dominating that stat.
Rose double-teamed. About 3 seconds between shot and game clock. Free throw drops for Rose. Chicago making a switch here. Rose hits them both. We've got 13 seconds left in the fourth. Barea, the pass to Levine. The feed to Jang. Here's Brewer. Drills it from outside. Here's Rose. Can't connect. And so Chicago takes this one, and by a big margin. Some days, Clark, everything goes right for a team, and they just had one of those games.
Yeah, it certainly was. I mean, these guys played a great all-around basketball game here.
And time now to go courtside as we send you over to Doris Burke from the sideline. Doris?
Well, a nice win for you tonight, Joakim. What was the attitude of the team coming into this game and just in general?
Yeah, we played hard tonight. We're getting better. We just got to keep going. You know, it's a work in progress. And, you know, we just got to keep fighting and get as many W's as possible.
Congratulations, Joakim. We appreciate it. Guys, over to you.
All right, Doris, thank you. And for Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan thanking you for tuning in to the NBA on 2K Sports. Now, our Jordan player of the game, Derrick Rose.